Hey YouTube. So today I want to talk about a question that I see is being very debated. And that question is, can men be vetted? Or can you vet a man? Mm, the basic argument that I see, which is like you can't vet a man, is people say, if the government can't vet men, then how can a regular person vet a man? But that question doesn't really make a lot of sense to me because the government do vet men, like the military, the police department, they vet men, but they're vetting for psychos pretty much. Like they want people, and by the way, this is like no offense to any military people, like I support our troops and all of that, but the fact is, like, they're vetting for people that are mentally unstable, right? They're literally vetting for people that they want to break down and then reprogram to serve the country and kill without question. Like they're not picking stable people. The kind of people that they're really trying to pick for these jobs are people that have maladaptive traits, probably don't really have any other options career-wise, or like their family has indoctrinated them to do that. And you can see that that's how it is if you look at the divorce rates. Like I believe for police it's what, the 80% is the divorce rate, and for military it's like 70. So these traits that are looked for, that the government are vetting for, those traits are opposite to the kind of traits you want in a person to become like a life partner. So, yes, I do believe that you can vet a man. It's pretty much exactly like the DSM-5, right? They vet, or I guess you could say that the psychologist has somebody, they sit down across from them and they ask them questions, right? And there's like a list of criteria. And say for like narcissism, there would be like nine criteria. And if the person, through talking and asking them questions and listening to what they're saying, if they fulfill, I believe it's five of the nine, then they get diagnosed as a narcissist. It's the exact same thing you do with men. You listen to them talk, you ask them some questions, and in your mind, you're going to have a list of criteria. And if they meet maybe, let's see, half of that, like five of 10 criteria, you can go ahead and diagnose them as a dusty. Like it just is what it is. Like you definitely can vet men. Oh, and back to if the government can't vet people. Like they most definitely do. Did you know that there are police departments that they will not hire somebody if their IQ is too high? And yes, that is true. So they're literally vetting for low IQ, kind of deranged, but can be manipulated and controlled. That's who they're vetting for. Okay? So vetting is real. And yes, as a regular person, you can do it, and you do it by asking questions, and you do it by listening and have a list of criteria in your mind. And then when they check off, they don't have to check all of your criteria, but like at least like maybe four or five, then you can go ahead and be like, yeah, this person is no longer eligible to be a partner for myself. And you cut them off and you walk away. That's how you vet. Now, if your question is, well, okay, that's well and good, but I don't know how to vet someone, that's fine because there are people that have been pre vetted by society for you, which kind of goes back to what I was talking about. If somebody has been in the military, or somebody is a cop, or God forbid they're both, just know they've been pre vetted, and those people are, for the most part, I just want to make a quick disclaimer, right? Everything I say here, consider the rule. this is not the exceptions, okay? So if you're like cousins, brother, sister, aunt, babysitters, uncle, dog sitter, whatever, that person, oh yeah, her husband was actually like he was a marine and a cop for like 80 years or whatnot, and they lived happily. Great, that's the exception. We're really talking about the rules here, okay? So like I said, you see the divorce rate. If you wanna kinda take that chance, then by all means go ahead. Like, I'm not gonna shame anybody. Like, if you believe this person is great and, hey, I love people that are out there on the streets doing patrol, and especially they serve their vets, like, that's great, like, go ahead, I wish you the best of luck. But for other people who believe like, "Hey, I'm not that great at picking, or I keep picking, like, crap men, or I keep running aground these narcissists," then maybe be more cautious. And these are just kind of suggestions and tips of how to, like, if you can't vet, then you want people that are pre-vetted for you. So first thing on the list would be military. If somebody is in the military, this could be like one of your criteria. Hey, if they're in the military, no. They're a cop, no. They're both, no, no. Right? They've been pre-vetted by the government. You already know the kind of people that the government wants serving. You already know the kind of mentality of the people that have been picked to do, or even really would want to do jobs like that. You already know they're unfit, like for a partnership for the most part. Another group that's been pre-vetted for you are other people that have been vetted by the government, like for instance, an inmate. If somebody is currently, and the fact that this even needs to be said is like crazy to me, but there are really people out here who are looking for partners that are locked up. Um, Now I don't know what the relationship success rate. I can only really go off of like my common sense and what I've seen on what is it called? Love After Lockup. But yeah, I wouldn't do it, like I just wouldn't do it. So all the jailbirds, that can be on your list of criteria, that's going to be a no. Okay. Men who have, histories of violence, especially violence against women, they say, oh yeah, no, I can't really go with my ex. Yeah, she got an order of protection against me, but it's like blah 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 blah. Whatever next comes out of their mouth, just disregard. That's really, once they say, oh, there's an order of protection in place where she's the protected party, and I can't even like go near her house. You should just kind of yeah, that's going on the criteria list, and that's gonna be a no for me. It's really that simple. Um, Also, people who have a history of violence against kids. Oh yeah, like if a guy says, "Yeah, no, I really can't go to this park. Like there was like this incident, and I'm on the list, and yeah, I can't really go close to kids, but like it was a big misunderstanding, like every it was okay. It's just that's just how what happened, and this person, like at that point, really, do you really need to kind of like go do detective work to kind of go on some sort of like fact finding mission? No, just add it to the list of criteria and it's a no. There you go. They're just not eligible at all. They've been pre-vetted. The legal system has decided that this person is unfit to be around people or have normal relations with people. So you don't need to try to have a relationship with them. Okay. Another group of people would be, or a pre vetted group would be homeless people. Okay. And once again, the fact that this should be said, but then again, it should, because there's such a thing as like hobosexuals out here, and women are constantly, or people really are constantly getting caught up in the okey doke with this. No, if somebody is currently, I get it, people fall on hard times, but like, are you the Salvation Army? Like, are you, do you run a shelter? Like, if you do, you need to be like getting money from the government for that, like get grants and stuff like that. You shouldn't be doing like, or at least like be writing it off on your taxes. But these people aren't fit to be dating anybody. Okay, if somebody's saying, "Oh yeah, no, like I don't really got a place to stay. I'm kind of like house surfing at this time, or I'm kind of staying with like roommates. Yeah, I know we're like sharing one apartment together, but mostly I don't really like to stay there. Like, come on, it's a no. I'm sorry if that sounds like harsh and mean and stuck up. Like it really is what it is, and I really don't care. I rather not have to like dig through a dumpster to find like, oh, maybe there's like something good in there. People sometimes throw away like good things. Like, why am I digging in the trash for somebody to date? Because of the chance that, hey, another man's trash is someone's treasure. Maybe there's something that's really good inside of here. Let me just go dumpster dive. Like, just don't. I mean, if you want to, no judgment. But yeah, no, absolutely not. No. So another group would be um, people who are currently in some kind of like drug rehab. Because I know people sometimes will be in rehab themselves and they find a partner there. Like, no, no. Okay. Like, clearly, this person has shown that they're not able at the moment in time because they're currently in that situation to prioritize or have self-preservation or really line their life up. And why would you think that a person who is so crippled by some kind of addiction, whether it be an addiction to corn or gambling or anything like that, where somebody is like spending all their money on, for God's sake, it could be like Yu-Gi-Oh cards, any kind of like addiction. If somebody's being controlled by something and that thing is running their life, why do you think that they'll make room to prioritize a relationship, to put you first, to put a family first, to put kids first? Like, they're not capable of it at this time. Okay? They're just not capable. So it's going to be a no. Another group that's been pre-vetted is going to be men without a credit card or without a debit card or without a bank account. If the credit companies have already vetted them and say, yeah, like, you obviously can't handle your finances, and we're just going to say you're not approved, like, the credit companies have vet them and found them not suitable for the responsibility of having a credit card because they're irresponsible with money. That person isn't responsible enough to be in a relationship with anybody. They're, God forbid, like, they have a child. They can't even, manage money. Why would they be able to able to manage like a family or a relationship? It just can't be done at that point in their life. I'm not saying like these people can be permanently off the list, but for the time being, while they're in their current situation, maybe after like years of therapy, counseling, after like, now, okay, they have a credit card now. They have an apartment now. They've shown that they've grown, they've changed, and they're responsible, and they're reliable, and they're stable. Now you can actually like say, okay, everybody has a past, I get it. But now that other systems have said, okay, the credit company has said, okay, this person's good to go. Um, the apartment place, because they do vetting, they do background checks on people to get an apartment. So once you know somebody has an apartment already, like, that means they've already passed all these background checks and they're okay. They've been sorted out for you at that point. So just wait to date somebody that actually, if you can't feel like, okay, I don't have the ability to discern for myself if somebody is worthy to be dated, then kind of use other systems that have their own little vetting processes and see the ones who with qualities that you like, that can actually like pass certain things, like, somebody who gets an apartment, they're probably not going to be a felon, they're probably going to have pretty good credit, they show that they paid their bills, they show that they've never been evicted. These are qualities that show that you're capable of maintaining a good credit score, can also show that you're capable of at least maintaining dating. The same goes for a car. Now, I get it. Like some people, okay, they live in a city and they don't need a car. Fine, a bus pass then. Okay, one of those like yearly or monthly or whatever train passes, some kind of means of transportation. Maybe they have, Uber or whatever. So if a man does not have any means of transportation, he doesn't own a car. Okay, like if he was not able to get a car, and people take, like, I've seen these like advertisements about, oh, if you have like no credit, bad credit, you can still get approved. Like if somebody can't even get approved for a car and like something like that, not even like a used car, like it's a red flag. Okay. Like if they haven't even been like pre-vetted to have a vehicle or a bus pass or something, they're just not, they shouldn't be on the list, is what I'm saying. So I think the last list of people who you can look at that have been kind of pre-vetted for you if you're not, able to really do the vetting yourself, that's men who vet themselves. Now, this is going to sound weird, but I'm telling you it's the truth. When you first start dating, right? That's one of the only times a man is going to be honest with you, like a narcissist, because I think in their mind they play these games where it's like, okay, well, I tried to tell you the truth, and just because you thought I was joking, or you ignored what I was saying, then that's on you. But my conscience is cleared because I told you, I told you that I wasn't good. So men will vet themselves and tell you pretty much straight up. They'd say, hey, I'm a narcissist. And it sounds crazy, but I remember I had a coworker who told me to my face, he was like, "Oh yeah, no, when I get into relationships, like I turn into a complete narcissist. Like I don't know, I just become a narcissist when I'm in relationships." And I'm just like, "Okay, great. Well, what? Thank you for telling me. I'm going to take that seriously." So, interesting. But yeah, sometimes they'll straight out just come out and tell you, or they'll say it in more subtle ways. They'll say, "Oh, I don't deserve you." They're not being cute when they say that. They're being honest. They're actually telling you like, "Hey, you're too good for me." "Hey, I'm like kind of a selfish person," or, "Oh, I can be a jerk," or, sometimes I'll say things and it'll hurt you, but just know like whatever else they're gonna say, "Oh, just know I didn't really mean it." Like, ignore that part. They already told you, "Hey, by the way, I can be rude. I'm going to say bad things about you. I'm going to insult you, and I just wanna let you know that in advance, and if you move forward, you're consenting to all of that." That's what that means. That's why they tell you these things. When a man tells you, "Yeah, hey, the only woman I love is my mother," or "That's the only woman I can love is my mom or my daughter," or whatever, just know they're telling you, "Hey, you're never gonna be a priority, and I will never love you." They're telling you the truth. Okay? They're literally like vetting themselves for you and giving you like the inside scoop on how they really are and what they really, really think. Okay? They tell you, hey, you should be with someone better. They're not being vulnerable and cute. They're being for real. Okay? Guy would be like, "Oh, I'm not good, blah blah blah, like you're too good." Whatever nonsense they say that you think is like, "Oh my god, wow. He's so insecure and he's being vulnerable and he's sharing his like vulnerabilities with me. Wow, this guy is like so real." No. No. No, he's being honest and he's telling you the truth and he's saying it away so you could be manipulated into being like, "Oh my god, well I know he has a problem with like being good. I know he has like a problem with being faithful. I know he said like he cheated on his last few girlfriends. I know he said like all his exes are crazy." He's telling you your future. Pay attention, okay? Pay attention. And my final point here is that honestly, none of this is going to matter if you don't actually take what these people say and you actually mobilize or, you know, do what you need to do when they give you this information, which means pack up your stuff and start leaving. Okay? Or at that point, if it's the beginning of the relationship, like just block and move on. Vetting can only work if you're paying attention, if you're taking it legit, and if you're willing to do what needs to be done. Like, are you willing to just walk away? If a guy is gonna be like, you know, I got into like a really bad fight with my sister, and like she called the cops on me because she said like I hit her, but it wasn't even that serious. I just pushed her. He literally just told you that he beat a woman. Okay, and you're gonna be like, "Oh my god, like, wow, what did his sister do to deserve that?" Like, at that point, you gotta leave, or else you'll end up saying, like, eventually, when he punches you in the face and he says, "Oh my god, I just pushed you, like, I didn't even do that." At that point, you gotta realize that you can't say, "Wow, I'm completely blindsided, like, I didn't even know he could hurt somebody." Like, he told you. He told you. You just have to take it seriously and be okay with walking away. That's the only way like vetting really works is if you're willing to leave. Like you don't have to wait for them to be like, okay, you know what? Well, I got 10 things on my list and they only did 9. They haven't really done like that. They haven't done 10 things on my like red flag list. So I'm just gonna give them a chance. Like I feel like it could work out. No, it won't. No, it can't. And they don't need to hit all the criteria. Like in order for somebody to be diagnosed as a narcissist, they do not need to meet all 9 of the criteria. They just have to meet 5. And it could be any of the 5. Okay, like any 5 out of the 9. You can say, "Hey, you're not eligible at all because you've met 3 out of 10." Like, you get to decide how much of the criteria they have to meet, your own criteria they have to meet before you're just gonna walk away, no regrets, and you do not look back. You have to make that decision. If you know that it's hard for you or that, you like to give people a chance, you believe that, you know what, like I want to be nice, I don't want to be seen as like this uptight, uppity bee or whatever, like then yeah, I guess you can't vet a man because you just can't. If you're not willing to walk away at honestly, I think at this point in my life, the only red flag a man needs to have is that he's a male, that he has XY chromosome, and that red flag is, like, kind of enough for me personally to be like, "Yeah, this ain't worth it." But, if you have like say okay they need to be like 2, that's fine too. They could only meet like 2 and then I'm walking away. 2 red flags and I'm gone. 1 red flag and I'm gone. 4 red, but please don't let it be, you know what, I kind of want them to have at least like maybe 20 red flags, and then but each red flag is kind of like a half of a flag, and then they got to do that same behavior twice, like they got to lie to me twice, and then that counts as 1 red flag, and I need at least 5 in each category. Then yeah, you can't vet, and this is how you're gonna run aground more narcissists. Like it's the truth. But hey, I could be wrong. Okay, I could be wrong. Maybe you can't vet a man. So y'all let me know in the comments, and I'll talk to you later.